Okay, we are looking at Honors Geometry Unit 1 review. If you look at this first one, it's construction, so you have to remember what all these words mean. We need to draw a plane K. We'll draw something like this. And we'll put a K in one of the corners for plane K, containing ray AB perpendicular to segment EF. Here is my ray. A is your starting point. Then you need to have a B perpendicular to segment EF. Perpendicular symbol is a box in the corner at point P. So I need to put, this is point P in there. Also construct line FG that is non-coplanar. Non-coplanar means not on the same plane. There's already an F in the picture here, so I'm just going to draw a line going through that plane. This is the F, and then I need G somewhere on the outside of the plane. It can go the other direction. You can have these anywhere you want in that picture, but it needs to meet all those requirements. Hence why on the test it's worth a lot, because there's a lot to do for that one picture. Alright, identifying all the labeled information. So we're just going to make a review over here. Just in case it's not in this picture, but it might be in a different picture. This is the symbol for parallel. This is the symbol for perpendicular. This is the symbol for congruent. Alright, in a picture we don't have any parallel lines marked in this picture, but parallel would have arrows on the lines. What we do have are these congruent marks. So I'll say GH, that's a segment, is congruent to segment DC. I could also say segment GE is congruent to segment ED. And the last thing I see is this 90 degrees in the corner of the box means something's perpendicular. You can name this segment here as GD or ED. And I'm going to do the perpendicular symbol to DC. Alright, let's go to the next one. Using our formulas here, a map of the town is drawn on the coordinate grid. The park is located at 4, 7 and Taco Bell is at -2, 3. If the QT is the midpoint between the park and Taco Bell, what is the coordinates of the QT? So here you see the word midpoint. The midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we're looking for the midpoint. I'll let this one be my x1 and my y1. And I'll let Taco Bell be my x2 and my y2. So you take your x's, 4 plus -2, and divide those by 2. Those are your x's. And you're going to take your y's and take 7 plus 3 and divide it by 2. So the coordinates for the QT would be 2 divided by 2 gives me 1 for the x value, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the QT would be located at the point 1, 5. Alright, the next one says find the perimeter of triangle RST. So you'll notice in this one, you don't have a picture drawn, so I'm going to draw that in for you. We're going to say point R is at -4, 2. Point S is at -1, -2. And T is going to be at 3, 2. Find the perimeter, write in simplest radical form. We'll start with we can just look at it and know RT, count the box. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Length is 7. But the other ones are diagonal lines. With diagonal lines, you're going to want to use what's called the distance formula. This is your distance formula. So x2 minus x1. Let's say I want to do the point RS. Then I would just let my R be my x1 and my y1, and my S be the x2 and the y2. So let's plug this in for the distance formula. So negative 1 minus negative 4. Anytime I do minus a negative, I go ahead and cross the line, change the sign, and make that a plus sign. And then I do negative 2 minus 2. So negative 1 plus 4 here would be 3, and 3 squared is 9. This one you get negative 4, and when you square a negative number, it becomes positive. So 9 plus 16 is the square root of 25, and since 25 is a perfect square, the square root of 25 is 5. Alright, we have one more. We have to do ST. So now I'm looking at the point S and point T here. We would do 3 minus negative 1 and 2 minus negative 2. Both of these are minus a negative, so I get 4 squared plus 4 squared. That would be 16 plus 16 is 32. Well, 32 is not a perfect square, but it can be simplified. So we need to simplify 32. So 32 can be broken down to 16 times 2, because 16 is a perfect square. So that would be 4 square root of 2. Remember, when you're simplifying a radical, the perfect square goes on the left, because that's the number you can square root, and you want that number in front. Okay? So perimeter is adding up all these sides. So we found this is the length of 7. We said RS is the length of 5, and ST is 4 square root of 2. So if I was going to write the perimeter for this, 5 plus 7 gives me 12, plus 4 square root of 2. That whole thing is the perimeter. And sometimes you might have 3 things written out instead of having just adding the 5 and the 7. Maybe you have different radicals that can't be added. You just write them all out. Alright, the last one, this is kind of one of those that you're finding a fraction of the distance other than halfway. So the formula we used for this one was x1 plus the fraction of the distance. So fraction of, we're talking about the distance between the x's, because this is the x, x2 minus x1. You would do the same for the y values. You would put y1 plus a fraction of the y length. Alright, so r to s, that means x1 is going to be your r. So we'll do negative 4 plus, our fraction for this one is 1/4. And then you'll subtract x2, so negative 1 minus negative 4. So in this problem, r was negative 4, 2. S was negative 1, negative 2. So this is your x1 and your y1, your x2 and your y2. When I'm saying, I'm referring back up to those points that you can't see right now. But inside the parentheses, we would get 3. So if you do negative 4 plus 1/4 times 3 is 3/4. And negative 4 plus 3/4 is negative 3 1/4. Okay, now let's do the y values. Different color pen here. The y values would be, y1 would be 2 plus a fraction, 1/4, and then your y2 would be negative 2 minus 2. Minus 2, we get in here negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. 1/4 times negative 4 is negative 1. So that answer would be 1. So the point that's a fourth of the distance is the ordered pair negative 3 1/4, comma 1. So some important formulas to memorize for this would be this one right here. That is a formula I'm not going to give you on the test that you'll need to know how to use.